Good morning, everyone. Billy Bartram here. I want to take you on a very special adventure of mine in 1766. This was the year the English took over the Spanish stronghold of St. Augustine. My father, John Bartram, the King's royal botanist, was charged to describe the new colony of East Florida, and he brought me along to help and for company. One day after church, we visited the grand fort Castillo de San Marcos. We decided to continue our explorations, which took us a few miles north to the famous Fort Mose. Our purpose was to observe plants and animals and waterways of the estuary. Do you know what an estuary is? As it turns out, Fort Mose has a special purpose in Black history of America. Listen to the story as told by Fort Mose's hero, Captain Francisco Menendez, to understand what life was like as a freedom seeker, the struggles to get here, and why it was abandoned by the Spanish in 1765.
Hello. Are you lost? My name is Captain Francisco Menendez. Do you know the way to Fort Mose? Well, that's where I'm going, but I'm lost. I don't know. What should I do? I remember when I was little, my mom told me, she said, if you ever get in trouble and you don't know where you are, maybe the best thing to do is just stay still for a while and be quiet, and something might come to you. That's it. I could follow the stars. Yes, I'll follow the stars because that's how I'll know how to get to Fort Mose. But I know what you're thinking. You're going, but what if it's cloudy? Well, the moss grows on the north side of the trees. That's how I'll find my way. Because, see, I'm headed south to a place called Fort Mose. We're on this trail. It's kind of like an underground railroad. And we're going to Fort Mose, and I'll tell you why. You coming with me? All right. Well, now if the moss grows on the north side of the tree and we want to go south, we're going to go in the opposite direction. Hey, look, wait. Well, I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. In fact, it's going to get dark soon. And I kind of want to be there before it gets dark. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be in the woods all by myself when it's dark. I sure wish we had a map. If we had a map, we could actually say, this is where we are, and this is where we're going. I sure wish we had a map. Well, I don't know how the other freedom seekers will find their way, but look at this. Someone left a ribbon. You know what that is? That's a sign. That's a sign telling us which way to go. Pretty good, huh? So all of a sudden I don't feel so lost. Someone left a sign. Hey, wait a minute. I left that sign. I've been here before. I've been walking around in circles this whole time. Oh, I sure do wish I had a map. But if that's not the way, then which way should I go? That's what I'm thinking. Come on, follow me. Did you know that long before Harriet Tubman was born, and long before the Underground Railroad went north, that it went south? And there were freedom seekers who came to Spanish Florida to be free. Now you may wonder, well, what is it to be free? And you may wonder, well, where did all these people come from? Well, most of them came from really big farms. Really big farms that tended to only grow one thing. Not so much for the food, but for money, and that's okay. But a really big farm, so big you needed maybe hundreds of people to work on it. It was so big they called them plantations. Well, when I was young, I was on a plantation and it wasn't very nice. I wanted to go play, and there were times I wanted to go play and I couldn't go play. And I missed my mom and my dad because somebody took me from them when I was little. But I don't want to make you too sad. All I can tell you that there's lots of freedom seekers been trying to get to Fort Mose. And I was one of them, just like you. I didn't have a map, though. I wish I'd had a map. But I met some Indians along the way. They were so nice to me. I didn't know why. I mean, I was there and these Indians found me. They said, "Are you hungry?" I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Are you lost?" And I said, "Kinda." And they said, "Do you want to come stay with us for a while?" And I thought about it. I said, "Yeah." So I stayed with the Indians for a while. And then they said to me, "Have you heard about this place, Fort Mose?" And I said, "Yes, I was going there." "Do you know where it is?" And they said, "Yes, it's in a place called St. Augustine." "You mean Florida?" "Yeah, that's what he said." And they said that there was a river and a bay and a harbor, and that Fort Mose was 2 miles north of the big town. And there was this stone fort there. They said this stone fort was so big that you couldn't miss it. So I'm pretty sure that now I met some friends and I kind of know which way I'm going. And I remembered why I wanted to go in the first place. Because I heard that if you made it to Fort Mose, that you could be free. And I said, "I want to be free." They said, "You could have a better life." I said, "I want a better life." And then they said, "And you could choose what you wanted to do." And I said, "Really? You mean I could be a sailor if I wanted? Or a cowboy?" They said, "Yes." Or I could be a chef? They said, "Yes." "I could be a captain in the army?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "I like this place. That's where I'm going. And I hope you'll come with me too." I mean, I know you're probably thinking, "Well, I don't know. I never been to Fort Mose, and I never heard about it. And how do I know it's good?" Well, I wasn't so sure it was a good place either, except some of the people that I kept meeting sure were nice. And some of them looked like me, and I don't know, I felt kind of at home. So, and I'll tell you, when you're in the woods, that's what you miss the most, is home. Now, about you, who might you be? Oh, I see. And you have a brother and a sister. Are they coming too? Oh, that's good, because they're too small. They could never keep up with you. I mean, if you wanted to get from South Carolina to Fort Mose, I mean, even if you take giant steps, it's still going to take a couple of months. The little guys, they can't do it. Nah. In fact, I bet your mom and your dad might not be able to do it. Well, I mean, if they're old, but if they're young, they could probably do it. You got to be strong. Well, I can see you're strong. And you got to be brave. You brave? Yeah, I know you're brave. You're brave or you wouldn't have come this far. You must be brave because you've been sleeping in the woods with all those bugs, the snakes. You weren't scared? Okay, I was a little bit scared, but not a whole lot scared. And how do I know you're smart? Because if you weren't smart, you couldn't have figured out how to get here. You made it this far without a map. That's pretty dang good. Well, like I said, I sure wish I had a map. Because we better get going. There's people out looking for me. I know. Well, maybe they're not looking for you, but they're looking for me. They're not nice. They're mean. Oh, well, that's a long story, but I mean, think about it. If you were living on a giant farm that they call the plantation and you wanted to go somewhere else, would you still go? I bet you would. Of course, that's going to get you into a little bit of trouble. So that's your first choice. Your first choice, maybe that's what freedom is having choices. I have to think about this some more. This whole thing about freedom is very, very, it's like a big ball of yarn or something. The more you find out, the more you learn, and the more you find out, it seems like the less you know. But I can tell you this much. Nobody's going to leave a nice place to walk 377 miles through the jungle to go someplace else if it's really nice. Right? I mean, maybe the people on the plantation that you were at, maybe they were super, super nice. But I'm thinking that a lot of people that wasn't their experience, and that they were, in their heart, they said, I want to be free. And so they left. Shh, don't tell anybody. They left without permission, on their own. That's right. They didn't tell anybody. Well, if you told somebody, they would have caught you, right? Oh, you didn't think about that. Well, I tell you, I think we should get going, and I sure wish we had a map. Oh, boy, are we lucky. Somebody left a map. Can you believe it? Okay, well, now wait. Well, there's the first problem. You have to be able to read. Can you guys read? Oh, that's why you're in school. Yeah, you want to read. Okay, well, Actually, I don't read so good myself, but I can tell you one thing, is that's Fort Mose and that's St. Augustine. There's the Castillo de San Marcos, and that's where we want to go. But you know what? This map doesn't tell us enough. We're going to have to find a different map. Wow, I'll tell you, I love maps. Somebody made this map way back in 1727. That's a long time ago. Well, in fact, it was so long ago, I don't see a United States. Hey, wait a second, all the countries and places are different. I see some rivers, but it doesn't really look exactly like this. Well, 1727. Wait a second. Did you know that the Battle of Fort Mose happened 35 years before the Declaration of Independence? And wait, that fellow, George Washington, I've already heard about him. He's still a little kid. People are talking about him. They go, oh, you got to meet George Washington. I heard he can throw dollars across the river. So, but he's still a little bitty baby. Geez, it's different times for us. And did I mention the battle? Whew, I'll never forget. Well, I don't know. I hated to see all that gun shooting and people dying, and that guy over here, he got dead. Look at him, he's dead. Well, when things get that bad, it's really hard. And, well, this map really shows the picture. I mean, the British, or the English, depends on who you talk to, they wanted all of the freedom seekers to have to go back to the big plantations in South Carolina. And the people here in St. Augustine said, no, 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 you're not taking our friends. They're nice, and they've been helping us grow food and do lots of stuff. And the English guy says, no, we're taking them back because they need to be working on that big giant farm. I said, I don't want to go. I asked my friends, I said, you want to go back? They said, no. And then the governor of Florida said, he wrote me a note. He said, I'm going to give you a new name. I said, what? He said, yeah, name's not a big deal, but I'm going to give you a new name that's way cool. I said, okay. Francisco Menendez. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? And then he said, since all those battles you fought with the Indians, we heard that you were brave, so we're going to make you a captain. And I said, really? You didn't like with swords and medals and flags and stuff? He said, yeah. I said, cool. All right, so then the next thing I know is the people that I used to work for on that farm, that big giant plantation, they were mad. I don't know what they got so mad about. They could have got some other people to do the work. But no, they were mad. They wanted me back. And you know what else they told me? They said, well, we paid for you. I said, what? You mean like at the supermarket? And they said, yeah, we paid for you. It says right here, and then it costs a lot of money. And you cost a lot of money, so get back to work. And I'm thinking, well, I didn't tell you to spend money for me. I didn't even know I was for sale. No, I don't like that too much. Now, you know, it's complicated, but I'll tell you this much. I've always thought that if you want to know the difference between right and wrong, you ask yourself, is it something that you'd want to go through? So if you ask yourself, was slavery good or bad? Ask yourself if you'd want to go through it. Ask yourself if you'd want somebody that you loved to go through it. Maybe your mom. Maybe your little sister. Nah, you wouldn't want them to go through that, would you? Of course not. And all I've ever wanted was, if I was nice to somebody, I hope they was going to be nice back to me. That's kind of simple. And that's why I think you're going to like Fort Mose. And you're going to like St. Augustine, because it's an old town. And people have been there a long time, which seems to mean that they figured out how to get along. And they get along, they work well together. There's all different kinds of people. There's Indians, there's Spanish guys, there's even Irish people. I mean, I saw Father O'Reilly the other day. So I think you might fit right in. Now, if you're a freedom seeker, and you've been on this Underground Railroad headed south to Fort Mose, the good news is you're almost there. That's right. Fort Mose is 2 miles north of the Castillo de San Marcos. And it was established there as the first line of defense for the people of St. Augustine. That's right. We're here to protect the people of St. Augustine. Fort Mose is like a lighthouse. It's a beacon of freedom. If you were lost or stolen and you didn't know where to go, maybe you want to go to a place where you could be free and where people would want you to be who you could be. Because you're still little. You don't quite know who you want to be, what you want to be. But I want you to be whoever you can be. Only you know who you can be. And that's in here. So I want you to have that chance. And that's why myself and the men of the Fort Mose militia, we vowed to fight until the last drop of blood to protect this dream, to protect your freedom, to offer hope to those who had none. This is the first line of defense for an idea called freedom. Say, you hungry? I thought so. Me too. Well, I don't know, but when you get to Fort Mose, there's a lady there named Isabel de los Rios. She makes the best cinnamon rolls you've ever had. Yep, she's this black lady. She just sells her cinnamon rolls right there on St. George Street. And then maybe you want to have some grits. And maybe some bacon. And, well, there's a lot of fishing boats here. You might want to go out and fish and catch us some shrimp, because then we could have shrimp and grits. And, well, all this stuff, the black-eyed peas and sweet potatoes and okra and collard greens and kale and mustard greens, that's all come from where I was born. That's all from Africa. And then the corn and the squash and the beans, that's what the native people gave us, the three sisters. And then you had all the spices that the Indians from the Caribbean gave us. And then the Europeans gave us these recipes and the cooking kettles and their own kinds of food. And we put, you know what we did? We put it all in one giant kettle. We cooked it all day long. We put some rice in it, and we called it gumbo. That's right. Well, you're probably wondering, well, Captain, where did you get the rice? Well, rice grows all up and down the coast between here and South Carolina. It's hard to grow. You got to dig canals and get the water right, and there's snakes in there. It's all that work just to get some rice? Well, I guess you got to work hard if you want food. But I'll tell you this much. If you had people working for you for free, hey, now wait a second. If I had 10 people working for me for free, and I just let them sleep in the garage, give them a little food, I could have one person do my homework. I could have somebody else fix breakfast. I could have somebody else do my chores. And I still got 7 more people. I got, let's see, another guy, he's going to fix dinner for me. I won't have anything to do except really enjoy life and watch these other guys work really hard for me. I don't know, that doesn't seem right. Does that sound right to you? Well, if it does, you come over to my house and you work for free, okay? No, you are smart. I thought you was smart. You're not going to fall for that. No, if you're going to work, you should get paid. And if you got a job, you should be good at it. And if you get good at your job, you should get paid for it. And that's part of what freedom is. So I hope you'll join me at Fort Mose. Come visit. I mean, there are better times, but you never know when it's a good time. I mean, right now, there's wars and everybody's talking about fighting and lots of people are angry. And all I know is there's a safe place where I have some friends who will look out for each other. It's a place called Fort Mose. And you know what? I should have introduced myself a lot sooner. My name is Captain Francisco Menendez, and I was commissioned by the King of Spain for the Spanish Royal Navy. And so, I am at your service. Welcome to St. Augustine. Viva Fort Mose! Viva el Rey! Follow me.
As time passed, things changed. I wanted to help end slavery, and I asked America's new government to consider the black people as fellow citizens of our nation. The newly formed United States of America should be enjoyed by all. It was an honor to visit America's first free African settlement.